All right, guys, fire away, man.
So Yarborough's an excellent player, but really Fane has really been a killer for you. What is the toughest part about keeping him off the block where he likes to set up?
I think there's two things with Fane is keeping him from scoring and keeping him off the rebounds. I mean, that's the key. I just told our staff, I mean, I call them the Fantastic Four, but it's Copeland and Evans and Fane and Yarborough. And that's those guys, those four guys combined for 80% of their points. And night in and night out, you can't say that about us. But when you can find a team that has 80% of their points coming through four guys, that sure does put it in perspective what you need to do defensively. We're not talking about defense after we just gave up 91 points, so I think they're probably better talk about the offensive part. But we've got to guard better than what we did at Evansville. And but at the same time, we won a basketball game when 6 guys on the opposition got double figures, and that's pretty impressive for our guys to hang in there and do what they did. I thought that was pretty impressive.
Do you feel you can attack their depth?
I think we're all the same. We're all playing 8 guys. They're playing 9. We're playing 8. I looked at Missouri State stats last night. They played 6 guys. I mean, they played one guy 6 minutes, but they played 6 guys last night. So, boy, you'd tell it's February, or excuse me, you'd tell it's March. So everybody's trying to attack everybody's depth. Last night, Evansville had depth. You know, we didn't. We played 8 guys, and actually, I guess we played 9 guys. But right now, that's just the way it is this time of year.
Sean's always been a pretty good driver. He's repeatedly worked on his outside shot. Just how has that evolved as he's been a player here? His outside shot.
Well, Todd, first of all, we had 2 guards last night that didn't miss a shot on the floor. I thought that was pretty good. When you have 2 starting guards that go 13 for 13, it sure does make you a better coach. McGill and Sean didn't miss a basket. But Sean, I think the best way to say it, it's the old adage that the more time you put into it. Sean comes in here at night on his own and works on his shot. His three-point percentage has gone up dramatically since he arrived here. I'll never forget Sean O'Brien. I keep telling the story when he made his visit. Sean O'Brien goes, ooh, that's a bad-looking shot. And we still tell the story to this day, and everybody laughs about it. But he's just put himself in a position where he's become such a much better shooter. And, you know, last night, the one he shot on Kuhlman, I swear it took him 10 seconds to think about whether he's going to shoot or not. And he just said, well, if you're not going to guard me, I'm going to go ahead and shoot it. But he certainly has gotten better, and he's gotten better because of his effort.
What will we remember about this senior class? Has it been hard to play with 6 seniors, 6 leaders,
normally,
6 voices like that?
I think the standard answer would be yes in most occasions. But this has been the most unusual year. We've had 6 seniors, and 3 of those kids have not started. And they've been absolutely what I would consider some of the most unselfish players that I've ever been around. I'm glad you asked the question, because we're not going to start 5 seniors on Saturday. And the reason being is because Marcus and Kavion, Marcus and Teak came to us and said, the game's more important than us starting. We started Rudy at Evansville in anticipation that we were going to start all the guys, that night. But we went ahead and started Rudy at Evansville so he could have his senior start as well. But Marcus and Teak came to me and just said they don't want to start. They want us to start our normal lineup, which just goes to show you the attitude these guys have had all year long. And they've accepted and they've fallen into their role. And I'm really proud of Marcus and Teak, because you think about Teak where he was 2 years ago. I mean, we're recruiting Kavion to be his backup player. And these guys, their attitude has just been outstanding. I can't tell you how proud I am of them. I can't tell you what a joy and what a blessing it's been to be around them. Some of them 5 years, 5, 4, 3, and 2. And it's been I'm going to miss these guys. I'm going to miss them. There has been a huge connection here.
Illinois State has pretty good perimeter shooting. Do you feel your perimeter defense is up to the task for Saturday?
It better be. Better be. It wasn't last night. But I'll tell you this last night, guys. Hey, they hit some great shots. I mean, they hit tough shots. That little stinker Fian hit some shots that there's no way. NBA guys couldn't hit those shots. He was in the zone. That bucket looked about this wide to him last night. So, but yeah, I think we can. I mean, you've got 3 players on their team that shoot. Yeah, 3 players, 70% or more of their shots are threes. And the second most three-point shooter on the team, only by one, 60% of his shots are threes. They've shot, I think they've shot 50 more threes than we have in conference. They average about 3 more threes a game, so that's a big number.
You said last week it'd be big to win 2 out of 3. Well, you won 2. How big would it be to pick up that third?
Yeah, can I go ahead and change that quote to be really big to win 3 out of 3? Yeah. And I mean against 3 good teams. And when I say good teams, I mean look at what Evansville did. Evansville beat teams that we couldn't beat. I mean, they beat Drake. They beat Loyola. They beat Missouri State. They beat Valpo, right, at home? I mean, they beat the teams we couldn't beat. So, and think about it. And before I got here, and that's 9 years before we've ever swept these guys. So that was a huge game for us last night. But I told them in the locker room right after the game was over. I walked in, first things I said, hey, guys, I never lied to you. I'm going to be straight up. Those are big-time shoes, Todd. But I said straight up, hey, got to win Saturday. Got to win Saturday. Don't win Saturday in the play-in game. That's it. It's a big game. It's a huge game. So you're playing on national television, right? Aren't we? That's national television. So playing on national television, you're playing at 1 o'clock. You're playing your big rival. I hope we can sell this place out to honor those 6 seniors. I think that would be great. I think they deserve that. And then, man, you got a chance to go into the tournament on a high note. So, huge game on Saturday. I think this is the biggest game that I've coached in since I've been here. I think this is the biggest game we've played in this building since I've been here in 7 years. I mean, it just blows my mind that you could go anywhere from 3rd to 8th. With one game. I mean, I'm just like, and that's a compliment to our league this year and the parity.
You've been talking about one game at a time. It seems like that philosophy has kind of shifted with the players too. And how has it affected it in your eyes?
I think we've had 2 really bad games this year at Loyola, at Valpo. But for the most part, I think our guys have that one game at a time philosophy has really helped down the stretch. We've only had 2 games that I would feel like are bad games in the month of February. In all the other games, we could have, should have, would have type games, had the opportunities to win, and we didn't. That goes back a compliment to those young men. And, well, they won't quit. They won't quit.
There is a break, after the regular season, you got like 3 or 4 days before we play again. Is momentum that important that you want to win that last game and get some momentum?
Well,
into the tournament?
Todd, it's just I've been on both sides of it. So yes, no, it just depends. I mean, it can't hurt. I mean, you look at what happened last year. We got beat 31 points right before we went into our tournament. I mean, matter of fact, we lost 2 in a row, I think. Got beat by Loyola, but it helped us because, man, we were ready to go. So I don't know how to answer that. Sometimes there's a sense of urgency. Let's put it this way. I'd really like to go your route where we win it and go in with momentum of 3 in a row.
Well, let me ask this. Does this group need it? Or it's hard to say.
Yeah, I think that's easy. When it comes to explaining this group after a win, I'm not putting my neck out there in any way, shape, or form. I will say this: no matter when we've been beat, here lately, this group's always responded after we've gotten beat. I do think we got to stay out of the play-in game. I think that's a huge deal.
Barry, do you have a feel for how the game Saturday is going to go?
No, if I did, I'd love to tell you what it was going to be.
It's not going to be like 91 to 87.
Well, this is the only feel that I can give with you. I'm going to predict a 1-point game either way, or an overtime or a double overtime, because that's the way it's been here recently. I mean, think about our last 4. Think about our last 4 games with these guys. They've all come down to the wire. And 2 of them have been overtime games, or 3. Is it 3? 2 of them have been overtime games. And I think it's just going to be. I think it's going to be a great game. I mean, I think this is the game where I think fans are going to be drinking at 12 o'clock and they're going to be ready to go. At 1 o'clock, they're going to be a little loopy and they're going to be feeling good. And hopefully by 3 o'clock, they're celebrating in a wild, ecstatic way. Okay, guys, thanks. Have a great day.